Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the latest session in the Broker Concierge program. Today's topic is the relocation department. And during today's session, we will talk all about how you, as an agent, whether you're brand new or a seasoned agent, can work to develop your business through the relocation department. I'm Tom Colucci, the Relocation Director here at Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage of Colorado, and I'm going to walk you through how the department works and how we may be of benefit to you. There's some logos on the left-hand side of the screen. You'll see Platinum Club, CB Connections, Cardis, and the relocating slide that shows a picture of the Earth. We'll start at the top with the Platinum Club. That is a club that has been opened up to all agents starting this year, so it is any Coldwell Banker Colorado broker that closes 2 or more outgoing referrals in a calendar year. Once you do that, we invite you to our overnight retreat in Vail, Colorado, which takes place every May. We also provide additional advertising through the Denver Business Journal and 5280 magazine for all of the Platinum Club agents. We have about 28 agents that have qualified so far this year, so we'd love to see a lot more as well. When we look at the next one, CB Connections, just go back one. CB Connections, that refers to the outgoing referral program. You will find that on cbagentinfo.com. So if you do have an outgoing referral to place, you can go to cbagentinfo.com, put in the keyword outgoing referral or even just referral, and it will come up with the template to use to place the referral. Now, an outgoing referral would be any referral that does not touch our Coldwell Banker Colorado market area. So if it's outside any of our offices, we would need to place it as an outgoing referral with another brokerage. So just as a reminder, our offices go as far north as Fort Collins, as far south as Pueblo, and west over to Boulder. So if you do have someone, a client, looking to buy or sell outside of that market area, whether it's in Colorado or in any state in the U.S., and we are actually in many countries outside of the U.S. now as well, please go to that template and complete the information. We'll find a great agent for you to help your client. So that everyone is aware, you would be receiving a 35% referral fee as long as we're using our Cardis broker network. That 35% referral fee comes in to the office and you are paid out on your current split. The logo beneath that is for Cardis. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, we belong to the Cardis broker network. Cardis is also the largest relocation management company in the world. There are approximately 730 brokerages on the network. We are one of them in Colorado. And we utilize that network throughout the world to place the outgoing referrals that I mentioned. On the next slide, you'll see a full recap of all the business opportunities that we provide in the relocation department. Some are for agents who are on the relocation team that have met specific qualifications. Other pieces are business that you can do right away. The first bullet is the affinity program. When we talk about affinity business, we're referring to a group or membership in a group. The best example would be USAA. Another great example would be Navy Federal. So the members of those two organizations get a cashback rebate and real estate assistance once they enroll in the program. We have a specific relocation agent team that gets all new incoming business opportunities for the affinity programs that we work. However, if you are to run into one of these members in your day-to-day business, you can register them with the relocation department, and you'll have my contact information at the end of the presentation. You can register with them with us, and we'll get them into one of those programs. They will get a rebate, and you would be charged a flat 35% referral fee for enrolling them in the program so that their rebate can be processed. But just know that if you do run into someone from one of these two programs, USAA and Navy Federal are the two largest, we want to make sure that you keep that person and keep that client. So even if you're not on the reload team, we will be able to have you work with them as a one-time situation. Second piece is corporate relocation business. Again, there's a separate team for corporate relocation. When we talk about that, we'll use Lockheed Martin as a good example of that. Lockheed Martin is a company that has been moving folks into Littleton, Colorado, to their Roxborough campus. They actually work with Cardis. Cardis calls the potential buyers into us, and we assign a corporate relocation agent to help them with their home buying needs in Littleton. We have many relo companies that we work with, probably 70 or 80 relocation management companies like Cardis in any given year, and they all have their own individual corporate clients like Lockheed Martin. So if you're interested in working on the corporate team, the requirements are that you be a full-time agent for 2 consecutive years and that you close 10 transactions in each of those 2 consecutive years. If you're interested in being on the affinity team, those agents that work with USAA or Navy Federal, that requires 1 year full-time work in the business and 12 closed transactions in that year. The third piece is broker-to-broker referrals. Now, when we talk about broker-to-broker referrals, that is any referral that we receive at Coldwell Banker, Colorado, from another brokerage. So it might be from one of the 730 Cardis Broker Network companies, or it might be from an independent broker. When we receive the information from the broker that's looking to refer their clients, we simply call the branch manager and we ask for an agent to help service that client. So we have 2 folks that work full-time, Denise Mueller and Kelly Ento. They work out of our California headquarters in Concord, and they receive all of the incoming broker referrals, and they place them out to the offices with an agent that the branch manager designates. Typically, the branch manager will use a relocation certified agent, but that is not always the case. So if you're interested in broker-to-broker referrals, please mention to your manager and they could let you know if they feel you're qualified to take that incoming business. Let's see, for R&I, that refers to the real estate network, and that is for licensed agents that are not currently active. So those agents would hang their license in our referral network, and they would receive a referral fee on each transaction that they place. For example, I have a Massachusetts license in addition to my Colorado license. My Massachusetts license is placed in the referral network in New England. So I do not actively sell real estate in Massachusetts. My license is there. If I want to place a referral through that license, I can do so anywhere in the U.S. or actually outside of the U.S. As well. And I would get a referral fee for each transaction that closes based on my referrals. So if you do know someone who has a real estate license that is not currently active in the business, you can certainly refer them to us in the relocation department. We will get them on the referral network, and they could start getting referrals for having that license. It's a small fee. I believe it's $50 one-time fee, and that gets you on the network and the ability to do referrals. So just keep that in mind. And then the last piece here is sales leads. When we talk about sales leads, we are referring to the fact that you, as agents, have a pretty large sphere of influence typically, and you may know some folks who may need our services. If you connect us with anyone that ends up taking any of our services, they may be interested in a relocation program, or they may be interested in one of our affinity programs. If you do connect us and that turns into an appointment and a contract, then you would be in our agent lead program. As the agent lead, you would receive any referrals in your market area from that particular client, and you would have the first right of refusal. For referrals outside of your market area, you would receive 10% of the net revenue that comes in from that account. So for example, if you referred a corporate client in Denver and they needed our relocation services, let's say you were talking to them, you met them at a cocktail party or in some other networking furnished apartments, booking travel for their employees that are moving to the area because they're doing some hiring into Denver and they're bringing folks in from out of the area. You can get their information, find out if they're interested in getting a phone call and having an appointment with me. I will make the appointment and I will do the presentation and explain all of our services. Most of our services do not have a fee. So we get a referral fee on the real estate side and most of the other services, so we can help them out without any cost to them. If it's a larger opportunity and their relocation policy needs to be written or rewritten, something like that, there would be some fees incurred. But I would be happy to go over that with any potential clients that you may run into. So keep that in mind and send those leads to the relocation department as needed. Earlier I mentioned Cardis, and we'll take a look at a slide a little bit later on. Cardis is a Realogy company, so they are owned by Realogy, as is NRT, our parent company, and they're the largest relocation company in the world, as I mentioned. They did about 130,000 transactions last year in 160 countries around the world. So that gives you an idea of their scope and their size. But keep in mind, as I mentioned at the very beginning, we do work with anywhere from 70 to 80 other relocation management companies throughout the year in any given year. So you'll hear some other names like Serva Relocation, Brookfield, Altair, Ayers, MSI. Those are all very active relocation management companies with clients in the Colorado market as well. So Cardis is really just one of those companies. If in your day-to-day business you run into someone that is working with a relocation management company, just like if you ran into an affinity member, you can keep that client. You would need to register them with the relocation department. There is going to be a relocation fee. All relocation management companies charge a referral fee, which offsets the cost of the move for that employee. But the nice thing about it is we are on pretty much every network that is out there, and you would be able to keep the client. So for example, if you're at an open house and a buyer comes in, they're maybe not interested in your listing, but you inquire and they tell you that they are not working with a buyer broker. You'd like to work with them as your client and take them to see other properties. They mention they are being relocated with Brookfield Relocation. You simply call relocation, register those clients. We will track down the paperwork from Brookfield. You can be approved as a one-time use with that client, even without having the relocation certification. So we never want you to lose that piece of business. We are a principal broker on the Cardis Broker Network. Just to give you an idea, there are other principal brokers in the Denver market. We share that market with Sotheby's, so we are a co-principal with Liv Sotheby's. In our southern market in Colorado Springs, we are a co-principal with ERA Shields. So those are the two brokerages that we share the business with. It is a performance-based network. We are judged on everything from how quickly we contact a transferee or client, to how often we contact them, to how well we convert the leads. Obviously, they're in the business to make money when they give us a lead, whether it's a seller or a buyer. They're looking for us to convert that lead into a closed transaction, so they track us on that. And there are actually several dozen pieces of criteria that we're rated on each year, and based on that criteria and how we score, we have the opportunity to become a platinum broker, which is the highest status in the network, resulting in the most amount of referrals. We currently have that status now, and we'll hopefully get that status in 2017 as well. So I mentioned some of the other relocation management companies that we partner with. You can see them up on the screen, starting with Ayers, going all the way down through Zonix Relocation. Some of them you may be pretty familiar with. Xerox is a household name. Weichert is a real estate company. They're also a relocation management company that uses us for their services, and a number of other ones that you'll recognize in our market as well. These are corporate clients, so these are the actual employers that are transferring their employees. They typically work with a relocation management company. You'll see Lockheed Martin there, for example. They have a contract with Cardis as their relocation management company. But most of these corporate clients here are teamed up with the relocation management company that you saw on the previous slide. Some of the smaller ones that you may run into would be the ones for an agent lead opportunity. Most of these larger companies are already accounted for and working with someone. This gives you an idea of the volume and scope within our department. So in Coldwell Banker, Colorado, we have 5 full-time employees, including myself, working our relocation business, and 2 additional folks that I mentioned earlier in our Concord, California headquarters. So as a group, we closed 1,811 transactions last year. You can see the dollar volume in sales and the amount that was shared in GCI, $16.4 million among 198 agents. We typically run about 1,800 transactions a year in relocation, and we typically stay somewhere around 200 relocation agents on our team. We mentioned, or I mentioned earlier, what it takes to be a platinum agent. Again, 2 outgoing referrals closed in a calendar year. So by December 31st, we'll be publishing the full list of agents that will be invited to Vail. We've been having it the last few years at the Sun and Elk Resort in Vail. We'll be doing that again this May. And as I mentioned, there's additional advertising that is done for those platinum agents with their photo and office contact information as well. CB Connections is the name that we have used to brand the outgoing referral program. And again, I can't mention enough how important this is and can really start getting you some cash pretty early on. So I'll give you an example. If some agents really don't fully understand the outgoing referral process because it can be a little confusing. So you have a client that is located in New York. Let's say it is your sister. She lives in New York, has a home there. She is going to be retiring to Florida. You can actually put that referral into the CB Connection system as an outgoing referral. You would get a referral on that listing. We would find you a listing agent and place that. Once that closes, you would get a referral on the listing. We would also find out where your sister was looking to purchase in Florida. We would help her with that purchase as well. That would be a second referral. You would get a referral fee on that as well. So you'd be paid 35% of the transaction side on each of the 2 referrals based on your split. Relocation does not retain anything out of that 35%. It's split between you and the company dollar. You do have the right to choose the agent, as I mentioned earlier. So typically we use the Cardis Broker Network, and we're able to get 35% referral fee because that is the contract we have with those 730 brokerage companies in the network. However, if you would like to refer that business to someone outside of our network, let's say you have a very good friend in New York and they work for Keller Williams, you know they're going to do a great job for your sister, and you also have a friend with RE/MAX who works in Florida. We can place both of those referrals for you. Typically, outside of the Cardis network, which both of these companies would be, we would only be able to get a 25% referral fee. You'd still be paid on your split. Your split would be between you and the office on your company dollar. Relocation would still place the referral, track the referral, and collect the commission, and we would not be retaining anything for that service. So it always makes sense to contact Relocation, and we'll be happy to place the referral for you. Here's the definition of an outgoing referral. And again, it may or may not be in Colorado. Some folks don't realize that they could place a referral, for example, in Grand Junction. It is in Colorado. There is a Coldwell Banker office there, but it is not a Coldwell Banker residential brokerage company. So we are company owned. We are owned by NRT, as I mentioned earlier. We do have a franchise affiliate that covers Grand Junction, and there are others that cover several mountain towns like Breckenridge and Vail. So that would be considered an outgoing referral. You'd still contact Relocation. We will place it. They will pay us that 35%, and we will get you paid on your split when that referral closes. So as far as looking at whether or not it makes sense for you to be on the relocation team, a lot of agents decide that they don't want to be on the team because of the fees that are involved. So as I mentioned earlier, we have about 200 relocation trained and certified agents out of our 1,200 or so agents in Colorado. And those 200 have chosen to take the training and the certification and receive business from the relocation department. That business does come with a fee. It is currently 46.5% of the commission side, plus 0.4% of the sale price. So when you roll it all together, I've heard agents, give estimates anywhere from 50 to 60% of the fee goes back to the relocation department. We pay the source of the referral, and the remainder is what you are paid out on. So the business is not for everyone. However, the agents that do it and do it well recognize that that one referral can often turn into 2 or 3 referrals. So when we refer someone to you and you help them out, let's say you help them find a home in the Denver area, they get in, they get settled, someone that they work with, a coworker mentions they're thinking of selling their house. It's not a relocation, they're just selling and moving up to a larger home. They refer you as the agent to their coworker. You could potentially get the listing and the home purchase out of that. There are no fees involved. They're not getting a relocation, and that would be your 2 additional transactions. There's no fee. So it does help you build your sphere, especially if you're just starting out, and helps you get some traction in the business. Here's a slide showing Realogy as our parent company. Realogy is also the parent company for several franchise groups: Better Homes and Gardens, Century 21, ERA, Sotheby's, and the Coldwell Banker affiliate franchises that I mentioned in the mountain towns as well. They are also our parent company. They own NRT, which owns and operates a number of Coldwell Banker company-owned offices throughout the U.S. They do also own and operate a small amount of Sotheby's and ERA companies as well. The Corcoran Group is a real estate company in New York that is owned by NRT. City Habitats is as well, so you may see any of those names in your business. Castle Edge Insurance is our insurance partner. They were formerly NRT Insurance. They're now known as Castle Edge Insurance. We can help any of your clients get an estimate. They work with about 7 major carriers in Colorado, all household names that you'll recognize as insurance companies, but they can price all of those at one time with one referral, and then they could let you know what makes the most sense for your particular client. To the right of that, you'll see Cardis, also owned by Realogy, and the Title Resource Group, which operates as Guardian Title in Colorado, is also owned by Realogy. And Axiom Financial is the joint venture that we have as a mortgage partner. They were previously doing business here as PHH Mortgage. They're now Axiom Financial, and you'll notice the loan officers right in your own office. As I mentioned earlier, if you do know someone outside of real estate that may be a decision maker, typically in the human resources department of a company, these companies are not always aware that they need assistance or that assistance is out there at no fee. No company is too small or too large. We have several companies that we move 1 or 2 executive level folks each year or every other year in some cases. And then we have some other clients, one Team National, which is an affinity program that was an agent lead. We actually get anywhere from 200 to 300 referrals a year from that particular client. So no company is too small or too large. You can contact me. I'm happy to check to see if any corporate client that you'd like to pursue is already a client of ours, or if it's okay to go ahead and reach out to them. And the last thing I want to mention is we do have a Facebook page. It is Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage Colorado Relocation. So it's a little bit hard to find, but if you plug that all in, you'll be able to find it. Please connect with us, and you can check out news, information, awards, and things like that. So thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you found this helpful, and please contact me if you have any questions after today's presentation.